You approach the Super Duper Mart in search of an important item you have been told is locked in the back office. As you approach, you can see that the glass sliding doors on the front of the building have been shattered and have likely been that way for a long time now. As you enter, you spot a pack of feral ghouls roaming the aisles. They haven't spotted you yet. What do you do? Greetings, Vault Dwellers, and welcome to the Wasteland. This is your Overseer speaking, Three-Eyed Townie, and today we're going to be talking about skill tests, the 2d20 system, and how it's been adapted to complement Fallout, the tabletop role-playing game by Modiphius. This video is the start of a Learn to Play series, where I'll be breaking down the core rules of the game. Each video will discuss different aspects of the mechanics, giving explanations on the rules, providing in-game examples to back them up, and what situations those rules would apply to. So the 2d20 system at its core has been dubbed a low roll system, and what that means is you actually want to roll low numbers instead of high. That's right, instead of those nat 20s we often strive for, you're actually going to want to try to hit a 1. Modiphius has described it as such. The 2d20 system is a dynamic narrative system designed to produce varied and interesting results from a dramatic and action-packed situation. Characters roll 2d20s, attempting to roll as low as possible on each one. The more dice that roll low, the more successes the character scores. During your game, there will come a time when your character attempts to do something where the outcome is questionable. In those situations, the Game Master will present you with a skill test where you roll some dice, and depending on what you roll, will determine whether you succeed or if you failed. So let's break it down. Step 1. Attribute plus skill equals your target number. After narrating the situation, the Game Master will then tell you which attribute and which skill you'll be using to perform the test. The player then takes these two numbers, adds them together, and this tells the player what they need to either match or roll under to succeed on the test. This is called your target number. Step 2. The difficulty is announced. The Game Master will then tell you how difficult the test is you're about to perform. Simply put, this is the number of d20 rolls you need to make that either match or roll under your target number. The difficulty will typically range from 0 to 5, but there will be instances where it could be a 6 or higher. Now, I'm dispositioned to believe that these instances would be reserved for situations that are exceptionally difficult, purposely impossible, or reserved for maniacal and evil GMs. Step 3. How many d20s are you going to roll? After the difficulty is set, the player then gets to decide how many d20s they wish to roll. Now, as a standard, you get 2 d20s with any roll, but you do have the option to purchase additional d20s using action points. The maximum amount of d20s you can roll on a test is 5. Step 4. Roll the dice and count your successes. The player will then roll their d20s and count up any successes they received. If the number of successes matches or beats the difficulty, then they've succeeded on the test. Step 5. Resolve the action. The Game Master will then narrate the situation based on whether or not the player succeeded or if he failed on the test. And then the game goes on. So let's go back to our opening example with the player entering the Super Duper Mart. The Game Master has presented the player with a situation where he has to make a choice. Let's say that the player decided to sneak past the feral ghouls. The Game Master would then say to the player, "I will need you to perform a skill test using agility and sneak to make it past the feral ghouls undetected." The player will then combine their agility and their sneak stats to get their target number. For this example, let's say their agility is a 6, and their sneak is a 1, making their target number a 7. The Game Master will then announce that the difficulty of the test is a 1, meaning that in the d20 rolls the player makes, he must score 1 success, meaning one of his d20s has to hit or be lower than that target number. The player will then choose how many d20s he wishes to roll. In this particular example, let's say he just goes with the standard 2. He only needs to get 1 success, so that's pretty fair. So the player rolls, and let's say he got a 4 and 11. Remember, the target number was 7, so the 4 succeeds, but the 11 fails. But that's okay, because he only needed 1 success to pass this test. The Game Master then describes the result of the action. Hunching close to the ground, slowly moving one foot in front of the other, you're able to quietly make your way past the feral ghouls towards the back office. Alright, so to recap, your target number is set by combining the attribute and the skill that's appropriate for the test. The Game Master sets a difficulty of the test for you, and success is determined by how many of the rolls the player makes that either match or are under that target number. Now, there is more that comes into play with skill tests, and we'll be going through all of that throughout this Learn to Play series. But for now, I just wanted to give you a brief introduction to the 2d20 system and how skill tests generally operate. Stay tuned for my next video where I go over critical successes, how tagged skills can impact your rolls, and complications. Future videos in this series will cover action points, group tests, assisting, and succeeding at a cost. As always, you can find the Fallout 2d20 community everywhere on the internet. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we have a very active Discord, and a Reddit as well. And I'll leave links to my socials in the description too. Thanks again for watching, please like and subscribe to the channel, and of course, I'll see you in the Wasteland.